Oh, let's have some fun with Frank. I recently replenished my supply of spark plugs. Found a site online that had 16 available N3Cs, which I use for Triumphs and BSAs. And I bought 16 N7YCs, which I use for Nortons. But they supplied 16 N9YCs. And I'm going to contact them and say, was this a mistake or was this your closest substitute? And then see what they say, whether I should return them or buy these. Now, in the meantime, I just wanted to see the difference between the 7YC and the 9YC. Okay, so I'm going to take this out of the equation. We're going to not fool with that. But when you take these two and ask the question, gee, can I use a 9C in a Norton, or should I stay with the N7YC Norton? And the truth is, everybody watching this video is going to say, you should stay with the N7YC because that's what it calls for. True, I agree, 100%. I have also, in a pinch, run my Norton on a N3Cs and never seen any difference. And I ride it pretty hard when I rode it. So anyway, that's I think you can safely sub in an N97YC. I'll bet you $1 it's not going to make a hair's breadth bit of difference. But once again, we're talking opinions, and opinions are interesting. So here, let's go in here for a close-up of these two spark plugs side by side, and you'll see that the 7 sticks into the chamber a little farther than the 9. A little bit farther on the insulator, a little bit farther on the electrode, center electrode. Now, by the way, the bodies are the same, okay? Any differences you see is parallax, okay? I measured the bodies, they're the same, okay? So the difference is in the insulator and the center electrode, okay? Now, let's just take this guy and put him up here. I'll zoom out a little. Out, Frank, out. And I'll take this guy and put him up here. And these are some measurements I took. Now, I was measuring from the bottom of the metal body to the center electrode and the insulator. And once again, the bottom, I'll put him over here. The bottom of the metal body to the insulator and the center electrode. This one is from for the insulator, 4207, and to the tip of the electrode, 4407. On the 9, it was 4183 to the insulator and 4361 to the electrode. That's a slight difference. And as I recall, subtracting these two gave me this one protruding into the combustion area 1/2 millimeter, and the insulation protruding into the combustion area 1/4 of a millimeter. So it's not a lot of difference, okay? And that brings us up to the concept of hot and cold. When I was searching the web, I couldn't find a nice chart, 50 down and 50 across, telling you all the specs and all these things and whether or not one is considered to be a hotter plug than the other being a colder plug. There were explanations that say if the electrode and the insulator protrude farther down into the combustion chamber, they run hotter because they are inside the exploding flame, and the spark plug will run hotter. And then there are explanations that say if the insulator and the center electrode are safely shrouded down inside the metal, they will run hotter because they're not out in the nice cooling breeze that comes through every time the cylinder goes on to intake. So I've got a really good explanation for plugs running hotter for both this, and equally good explanations for them both running cooler. Good explanations. I have no idea which one's true. And I expect I'm going to get at least 600 comments saying if it's farther, it's hotter. And another 600 saying that if it's farther, it's cooler. And I don't care. I really don't care. I know that this 9 is going to work just fine in a Norton. Thank you very much. Nobody will ever notice any difference until they take it out on a professional racetrack and run it at 125, 30 miles an hour. There might be a difference, I don't know. But when you're taking your bike to breakfast on Sunday, you're not going to notice. Okay, so that's where we are. Anybody want to express an opinion on whether the 9 will work in place of the 7? Feel free, please. Anybody who wants to express an opinion on whether the electrode going out into the combustion chamber farther runs hotter or colder, that'll be fun to keep a running score to see who says what. And all of this is just fun. There's nothing earth-shattering here. I got 16 wrong plugs, which I'm going to contact the vendor and say, was that on purpose? Is this a suitable substitute, in their humble opinion, for the N7YC? Or not? So that's where we are. I mean, over here, let me show you my drawer. Here are 16 brand new N3Cs for Triumphs but BSAs, and up here are 16 brand new N9Ys. So that's where we are. Just having fun. Don't want to start a controversy or anything, but I just found this fascinating. I've never taken the time to measure electrode depth, length. The outer electrode is common. That's no different. You set the gap by bending that. Or as we used to say in the confuser industry, we would form that tab. We never bent anything. We always formed things. And personally, I think the N9s will be just fine. And I will make that decision once I talk to the vendor and see what they have to say. So fun with Dick and Jane. Actually, this is fun with Frank. Take a look at this stuff. Anybody want to play with the numbers and come up with opinions? No problem. Love to hear from you. Thank you. Bye.